it was the first weekend of the FA Cup, and lots of games played. Things happened, lots of interesting results. I'm not super happy about it, but I think I'll have a drink to it. Cheers, boys. This is Red Card Radio. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Whenever you're tuning in, thanks for listening. Red Card Radio is a weekly look at the Premier League from three friends who support different clubs. This week it's a look at the FA Cup because that's what happened last weekend. But I am James. I support Arsenal. With me tonight is Brad. He supports Chelsea. Down below is Sean. He supports Budweiser and Tottenham Hotspurs. Boys, how we doing tonight? What's going on?
Sean, you getting fancy here. It's not Natty this time. Stepping up the game, huh?
Hey, listen, I'm a man of the deal. Okay, Bud Light was cheaper than Natty Light, so it just happened to be on sale.
Equal opportunity beer drinker here.
Absolutely.
He's got no allegiances to anyone.
Nope.
Free agent, they would say. Free agent. Are you?
I'm willing to be sponsored by any beer.
Yeah.
Except one of them dumbass craft beers.
Even those, we'll take an Edmonds O sponsorship.
Yeah, give us
no,
call.
I'm not trying to be hammered by like minute 40 of the podcast.
It's sour. It's like 6%. You'll be fine.
Yeah. Okay. This is 4.2. This is exactly what I'm saying.
I mean, I would take like a whiskey sponsorship as well. That'd be pretty dope. If a bourbon company.
I would.
If a bourbon company wants to sponsor. Anyway, we're getting into the weeds here. But if you do want to sponsor us,
We love Kentucky.
info.redcardradio@gmail.com. Hit us up on Gmail. Send us an email. We'll chat. But as always, for our loyal listeners, we really appreciate you guys tuning in. Thank you so much. If you're new here, we are kind of this foolish all the time. We occasionally talk about football. Sometimes we talk about other things.
Tennessee whiskey sucks. Kentucky bourbon all the way.
If you're new here, if you could hit that subscribe button, give us a like, give us a thumbs up, rate it 5 stars if you're listening on Apple Podcasts. All those things really, really help us. But what we love the most is comments. Send us a comment. Hit us up on the YouTube comments. I also, I added a new channel in our Discord. If you want to join our Discord and leave comments in our Discord for us, that's another way for you guys to leave thoughts that you want us to talk about. We would love to hear about that. The Discord link will be in the show notes below. But yeah, definitely do all those things. We don't want anything to happen or any kind of slight inconvenience or anything right, Sean?
I could tell you. If you don't like, subscribe, rate, and review, and drop a comment, what might happen to you is you find a really awesome TV show that you would really enjoy to watch. You start out, you watch the pilot, it's great. Episode 2, great. Boom. It's a live TV show. You have to wait for it to be released week by week.
Oof.
Happened to me this week with Abbott Elementary. Hilarious, funny new show. Only 2 episodes were out.
That's rough. When there's a
By the
show,
way, not sponsored. That show is hilarious.
When there's a show that I want to watch, I will especially now that that streaming services are doing week by week releases. I wait until it's all released so I can binge it. So the 6th season of The Expanse started airing in December. I love The Expanse. I think it's great. It's one of the best sci-fi TV shows that's ever been made, in my opinion. Go check it out. Also not sponsored, but hit us up, Amazon Prime. It started airing in December, and I was like, no, I'm not doing this until it's all out because I just want to be able to sit and watch it all. So I get that.
Speaking of sci-fi, I had to explain to someone what Mystery Science Theater was.
Wow. Did you feel old when you did that?
A little bit, but also it's kind of hard to describe. I was like, it's like a silhouette of a couple of robots and an alien, and they're just commenting on bad sci-fi. All right, it sounds dumb when you say it out loud, but it's actually hilarious.
It was Brittany, wasn't it?
Yes. I didn't want to, I mean, we don't got to call government names here. We don't got to pull socials around here, but
she must have removed that 5-star comment. And
she's from Woodbridge. What do you expect?
Oh, she's a Hoodbridge.
We don't associate with people from Woodbridge anymore.
That is Northern Virginia. Also, those are your brethren.
No, it's not.
No, it's not. We do not claim Hoodbridge.
Almost Northern Virginia. We can get into the demarcations of Northern Virginia if we want to, but that is not
north of Fredericksburg. It is Northern Virginia.
Maybe that's a legitimate argument. But okay, what we have on offer for you guys tonight. We are going to hit some comments. We got a couple comments we want to talk about from last week. We will talk about, there were 2 Premier League games that were played between last week's recording and this week. So we're going to hit those. I think they were makeup games. I'm not really sure anymore. There's some ambiguity there now with all these rearranged fixtures. But then we had some more Carabao Cup played. We've got an FA Cup 3rd round to go over. We're going to hit transfers today. I promise we're going to talk about transfers today because we've got the time. Right, guys? We got the time. We're not going to get on any tangents or anything like that tonight. Of course. Nah.
Yeah, we're off to a roaring start.
We're going to be really serious tonight.
We're a well-oiled machine tonight.
Tangents are our thing. We don't tangent.
We're gonna do all those things, and then we're gonna talk about match week 22 before we get out of here tonight. All right, so let's just get into it.
Only sign and cosign, no tangent.
So tonight, a couple comments we want to talk about. First is from, we're gonna start with Jimmy. Jimmy had some comments. Brad just got the math joke. That's Sean hit him.
Took me a second.
How did you miss that? It was really good. Anyway,
because I wasn't fully listening when he was speaking, and then it like hit me in the boomerang.
Like says the dad, like the king of dad jokes on the podcast, not getting like the corny jokes. That's really sad.
I know.
But okay, so Jimmy, we were had a conversation last week about suspended players, and I was lamenting the fact that there was an outlandish possibility that Gabriel, who got a second yellow card and a 1-game suspension against Manchester City, could, in theory, have been suspended for the Premier League game against Spurs if a couple games got postponed. And I was like, oh, that would be BS. It would be really unfair to Arsenal. Jimmy agreed with me in that sentiment. He thinks that if a game is canceled, players should be suspended for the games according to the original schedule. But he also thinks it goes both ways. So like in his example, Gabriel would have been suspended for the first leg of the Liverpool game, regardless of when that was played, of the Carabao Cup semifinal. But in theory, if the next game was like the North London Derby, he would have been suspended for that, even if it got rearranged later, and he would have, in theory, could have already served that suspension. So that was his argument, and I kind of agree with him. Yeah, Sean.
So to clarify something for me, so because it's all FA. So Gabriel's league suspension would have carried over to a cup game.
Correct. It did.
Yes.
Yeah. So the way, since it's all under the FA, if you get suspended for a domestic fixture, you're suspended for that. If you get suspended in a UEFA competition, it's only in UEFA competitions.
Yeah. I knew that. Champions League only applied to Champions League. Well, I kind of agreed with him later in the comment where he said if he was supposed to be banned for the Spurs game and then it got rearranged, then he should still be suspended for that Spurs game.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I like that a lot. Yeah, that's how it should be.
So I took that kind of the next level in thinking about this, because there's been some conversation now with the multitude of rearranged fixtures that we're going to have. Now we're in January, right? So teams can sign players, but we've had games that are going to be rearranged from before the transfer window opened. So I really think that the Premier League and the FA need to do something here where they say you're only allowed to play the players that were originally registered on your squad for the day that game was supposed to take place. So if you had a game in November that was supposed to be played that you canceled due to COVID, and then you made 4 signings in January, those 4 signings should not be able to play in that game when it rearranges.
Perfect example is Aston Villa. They have 2 games in hand. They should not be able to allowed to play Coutinho in those games.
100% agree.
But what happens if you sell those players though?
Who cares?
Burnley can't play Chris Wood in any more games.
Of course.
So then they don't have their first choice striker. If they go out to replace Chris Wood in January, they couldn't play him. I don't know. I think I don't like that.
I see your point.
Because I think if it's before the January window, then yes, I 100% agree. If you're rescheduling those games, those games after the January window, it gets very, very sticky.
I think
Coutinho knows the Premier League. He's going to be a good player for Villa. He's going to he's basically going to be like a Greenwood for West Ham last year.
Lingard.
Is he going to
Greenwood? You mean Lingard?
Lingard, yeah. He's not going to light the world on fire, but he's definitely going to contribute to the team. I feel like that's how Lingard was.
That's probably a fair assessment.
And so, he's gonna probably bag 6-7 goals the rest of the season.
So Brad, you don't like this idea?
Look, I agree as long as it's before the transfer window,
So
right? Because the reason being, if you're selling up, if you buy a player and you sell a player and they're the same position, then they should take that spot.
But the problem is that like they weren't there to begin with. Like, so but
the player that was there is no longer there,
Okay.
so you don't have that spot.
I think we're
that's
all
an
in
unfair
agreement
advantage.
that they need to have the conversation.
Yeah.
They need to start talking
Sure.
about it and figuring out something.
But
because it's not fully fair to let. I'm sorry, I'm picking on Villa, but it's just the most prevalent example. But like, it's unfair to teams who got a rescheduled Villa game to have to play Philip Coutinho, who drastically improves their team.
Yeah.
But it also is unfair, like he said, for Burnley to play without Wood without playing his replacement.
Yeah, but Burnley didn't have to sell Chris Wood.
Yes, they did. Release clause.
I mean,
I don't think release clauses work that way in England, Brad.
If the player wants to leave and the release clause is paid, the selling team has no stake.
No, the team still has to agree on the transfer fee, right?
I mean, like
no, because there's a release clause in the contract.
Have you heard
money?
Have you heard about Luis Suarez? So
because that's what they thought the release clause was. I don't think that was that wasn't the actual release clause.
I mean, that's what Luis Suarez and his agent thought the release clause was. They had a contract with Liverpool, and Liverpool just chose not to agree. So I don't think it's not like in Spain, because in Spain the way it works is players are contracted through the Spanish FA. The Spanish FA holds all the contracts essentially. La Liga holds all the contracts in La Liga. So when Arsenal signed Thomas Partey on deadline day a year ago, Arsenal just showed up with a cashier's check for 45 million euros and just handed it to the league office. And Madrid couldn't say anything. Atletico couldn't say anything about it because they didn't hold the contract essentially.
How is that? I mean, are you sure that's not the same in the
I don't think
the English FA?
I don't think that's the way it works in England. Is what I'm saying.
I feel like it has to.
No, because the teams definitely hold the contracts in England.
I mean, how would Arsenal?
You still hold the
how would Arsenal have not been able to sign Luis Suarez with the 40 million in one bid years ago? Because Liverpool just said no.
But I feel like you still have. But Atleti still held the contract for Partey. They just didn't have a say because the release clause was paid. There's two copies of the contract.
Okay, I don't give a shit about like the physical who has a piece of paper. What I'm talking about is the dealing is through La Liga, and then La Liga gives the money to Atletico. Like that's the way
as like the third party, right?
Yeah, they were the intermediary in there. And so Arsenal never had to talk to Atletico. When Atletico was like, yo, we're not negotiating on Thomas Partey, pay the release clause or get out, Arsenal were like, okay. And then everyone thought that wasn't happening. And then they show up with a cashier's check that day, and it happens because Atletico couldn't do anything about it. I don't think that's the way it works in England.
Can you imagine just going to 7-Eleven and getting a $45 million cashier's check?
That money order would be serious. But yeah, that was Jimmy's first comment. I would love to hear if anyone's listening and they have some opinions about whether or not newly signed players should be allowed to play. I would love to hear it in the comments. Jimmy also pointed out that the FA Women's Super League has an interesting top three. I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but the top three in the Women's Super League is Arsenal, Chelsea, and Tottenham. Arsenal have a 2-point lead over Chelsea. Well, okay, they have a 5-point lead. If Chelsea win their game in hand, it will be a 2-point lead. But it's pretty tight at the top of the Women's Super League. The end of his comment was London is red, and I don't disagree with him. But
the remark I would like to make is hopefully Alex Morgan's contribution to the women's soccer at Tottenham is long lasting, where she basically told them these training facilities are not adequate and we would like to train where the men train. You have enough space, and basically force Tottenham to have the women over to our training park.
Really, the women weren't training at your training center?
No. Alex Morgan came in and was like, this is dumb.
Interesting. Good for her. I'm pretty sure Arsenal women.
Oh, I'm surprised you didn't hear about that.
Yeah, well,
Did she bounce? Well, I heard that she bounced very quickly after getting there.
Well, she was on a 6-month loan.
Yeah.
So it wasn't bouncing. She was
She
just
was
a 6 month.
She was always going back to NWSL.
Did she?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, like Arsenal, I'm pretty sure that the women train at London Colney, where Arsenal train, their training center. But they don't. They generally play their home fixtures at a different stadium, not the Emirates. Though this year they have been playing more games at the Emirates. This year they played their Champions League fixture against Barcelona at the Emirates. So that was, I think they sold like 45 or 50,000 seats. That's awesome.
It's huge. That's awesome.
Yeah. So,
But yeah, so I would like to point out the fruits of Alex Morgan's labor.
or is that was that a baby joke? Because she came to Tottenham right after she had a baby.
Oh, she did have a baby. Yeah. No, I was not making a pregnancy joke. I was just pointing out that she forced them to have adequate facilities, and now they're in the top 3.
That's awesome. That's fantastic.
Yeah. Love it.
So we move on. Joel had a couple comments for us. His first was to you, Brad. He didn't think Mane should have been sent off versus Chelsea. It was a reckless challenge, but it wasn't dangerous. Yellow was fair in his opinion.
I think he's just mad because I'm the one that talks all the smack about the championship club, Newcastle United. So
you're doubling down on this.
His opinion is invalid.
You're so rude, Brad.
I'm coming in hot on these comments. Let's go.
Joel, I appreciate that you listen. His next comment, Boxing Day games have happened in England for decades. It's part of the tradition. If European managers and players, Klopp, Tuchel, don't like it, they know where they can go. December and January is a hectic schedule, is nothing new.
That's what I've been saying for 2 weeks.
I think, but I don't think the problem is Boxing Day. I don't think the problem is the Boxing Day schedule. I think it's what James said, that you're playing 48 hours later.
Yeah, that's the problem. That's my only point.
I do agree with that. Like, you should not play 2 days later.
I think that there should never be a situation where the Premier League
that's ridiculous
has a game with only one calendar day in between. That you should never play on the 26th and have only the 27th off to turn around and play again on the 28th. It should be the 27th and the 28th off.
I don't know about Brad because he's too deep, but I'm sure you have players just like Højbjerg for Spurs. Højbjerg doesn't come off the pitch. He doesn't get subbed off. He doesn't miss games. Like, people like him need a couple days rest. Because his engine, I'm sure you have one on your team.
I mean, if you think about like N'Golo Kante is that player for Chelsea.
Kante's healthy,
but
when Kante's healthy,
he never misses a minute.
Goes nope.
It's that like in the same way Granit Xhaka. That's Granit Xhaka for Arsenal.
Yeah, Xhaka's yours. I was trying to rack my brain of like who would be yours.
I mean, Ben White's been that way for us this year. Gabriel would be that way for us this year. So
when he can stay healthy,
Rudy.
Yeah. So like the players that are like super fundamental to the way the team functions. That play every minute, like, yeah, it certainly is important for them. Now, like it does, argue that like you need to have a deep squad and be able to deal with missing players and things like that. But like there are 2 clubs in England that can facilitate playing in 48 hours. It's Manchester City and it's Chelsea, because they have a team full of they have 2 full first teams that could legitimately challenge. Like
without COVID, yes, without COVID and AFCON, I agree.
I mean, Manchester City has more players than Chelsea, but Chelsea still, yeah. So, I don't think any of us would advocate for getting rid of the holiday fixtures. I love the Christmas time when it comes to English football, because like there's games leading up to it, and then like you take Christmas off, and then the next day there's more football. I think it's a great thing to do. Like wake up on the 26th and be able to just watch football all day.
I actually miss, it was as recent as a couple years ago, I miss like the last day of the season vibe of Boxing Day, when all 10 games are happening at the same time and you're at the bar and it's like game all the way around. You're just like eyes darting around trying to follow all the games.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. It's fantastic. Yeah. Like there's not
so I don't like the stretching it out.
Yeah.
I don't like games on 27th, 28th.
I'm okay if you want to have a game every day for the TV broadcast. Cool. But just make the schedule work so teams aren't playing within 48 hours. Just that's all I ask.
Have 8 games on Boxing Day, and then one the next day, one the day after.
Like, that's all we need. So, Will had a comment for us. I hope you've watched the Super Cup, Super Copa, because didn't end so hot for you guys. But his comment, I think last week, Brad, you made a comment. I think he quotes you and said that Juve gave up on the league real quick. And he said, Will's response is, regarding Brad's gave up on the league real quick. Never that. I'll let James explain fino alla fine. But as an example, see Roma Juve game from Sunday. So first question. Did you guys catch the Roma Juve game on Sunday?
No.
Do you know anything about it?
No.
Okay. So.
Oh, they had a red card? Okay.
Fino alla fine sounds something to like, it's not over till it's over.
Essentially, it's to the last. Essentially, is what it means. But so
finish. I'll finish when it's finished.
Yeah, it's like it means to the last, or like to the end. Essentially, is what it means. But so the Roma Juve game, it's Roma are up 3-1 in like the 60th minute or something like that. Juve come back and score 3 goals in a row, and then there's I don't know if it's a questionable penalty, but there's a penalty called against Juve, and a subsequent second yellow card for De Ligt, and De Ligt is sent off. So now it's 10 men versus 11, and Roma have a penalty to tie it 4-4, and Wojciech Szczesny has a phenomenal save, blocks the penalty. They put the ball into touch, and Juve are able to see the game out with 10 men against 11 for like 10 minutes or so. Win the game. 3 massively huge points for Juve when they were down 3-1. Like, for all intents and purposes, you should lose that game, right? Roma should have won that game, but they didn't. They lost. So essentially, it's just like fighting until the end. Like, you never give up. Juve believe that they're going to win every game. They're not very good this year. Like, they're going through a transition this year, and like this is certainly one of their down years. But they won't allow themselves as a club to believe that they're out of it. There's a quote that I want to read for you. It is Szczesny. And he said this after the game. He said, if one of us doesn't believe in it, they can stay at home and not play matches. You can't accept not going to the Champions League, even in this difficult year. We are Juventus, but we first have to improve, but we have the ambition to reach the top of Italy. It's like that's their mantra. Like, they never give up.
Okay, so there's a difference between competing for the championship and competing for the 4 spot.
Agreed.
Right? Like, there's a difference between City, Chelsea, Liverpool, and West Ham, Arsenal, Tottenham. There's a difference.
Certainly, but the quote is, we believe we have the ambition to be the top of Italy.
Sure.
I don't think Juve is good enough to win Serie A this year, but like the first choice goalkeeper does. Like that's like when we talk about cultures and like the culture of a club, the culture at Juve is to like never believe that it's over. Like to fight until like that is their mantra.
Yeah, they embody Conte.
Yeah,
Conte does not give up.
Well, why do you think Conte has that trait about him? Do you think it's that Conte imparted that to Juve, or that Juve imparted that to Conte?
I think Conte brought it back to Juve. Because before, weren't they? They were like much more in the trash can before they won 10 before they won 10 straight. They weren't competing. They were competing at the top, but they weren't winning.
But do you know why that happened?
Yes.
It's all a result of Calciopoli. But like before Juve were relegated to Serie B, they had won 2 straight Scudetti. And I think that they were doing decently in the Champions League and things like that. But then Calciopoli happens, they're relegated, they fight back. Like their entire squad got decimated. There were 5 players that stayed, and like those 5 players stayed until they won a Scudetto in 2010, and then they won 9 straight. So like, I don't know.
It was what? Buffon, Pirlo, Bersagli, Chiellini?
No. It was Buffon, Del Piero, Nedved.
Del Piero,
Nedved.
Bersagli.
Camoranesi. It wasn't Bersagli. Maybe Camoranesi. Maybe. And then I think Chiellini. But Chiellini was a child. Like, he was a kid at the time. Bersagli was signed after the fact. But Will will remind me in the comments who exactly it was. But like that's the mantra, right? So they never give up. That's essential. So like when you say that, I think when you say, oh, they gave up on the league real quick, as a Juve fan, he's like, oh, that's offensive to me. He's offended.
Oh, it's fine.
My big comment
offends me this year.
That's why I'm happy Conte's here, because of Tottenham's propensity to give up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys are a bottle club.
Like, when does he re-sign his contract? Because he only signed for 18 months.
Yeah, so it was the rest of this year and next.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, what?
That's a super short contract.
I think in the same sense, Conte wants to feel out Tottenham. Tottenham wants to feel out Conte to see if it's a good fit.
Yes. He's heat checking to see is Tottenham serious?
And
is Levy going to give you the money?
Are you serious? So far, not serious because we're on day 12 of January and we haven't done shit.
I mean,
well, you guys just had the meeting though, so like we got to give it this week.
January is impossible to get deals done. It's so difficult it's so difficult to get deals done.
I've got just the guy.
So
I've got the guy, the center back.
In a second.
We'll get to that.
We got some jokes first.
All right, we're gonna hit. Those were our comments from this week. We love your comments. Please send them. I love talking about what you guys think. So please send it. I love it.
My favorite part about the section is that it always says 10 minutes in bold up top, and we just spent 26 minutes on it. So
maybe I should fix that in our planning.
We're comments every week.
That's why we don't go on tangents. We just sit too long. It's fine.
So, but quickly, I'm going to quickly hit the two Premier League games that happened. On Tuesday, we had Southampton hosting Brentford. Southampton won 4-1. And then today we had West Ham hosting Norwich. West Ham won 2-0. So that leaves the league table as such, if I can get the right scene up. So league table looks, City are still in first on 53 points. Chelsea second, 10 points behind.
It's pretty much as it stands from
there's a little bit different. West Ham's up to fourth, overtook Arsenal, but Arsenal will have a game in hand. Spurs have 2 games in hand, 3 on West Ham. So that United's down to 7th. Wolves, Brighton, Leicester, Southampton are up into 11th after their victory. Palace is in 12th. Brentford has slipped a little bit. They're down into 13th. Villa are in 14th. Everton, Leeds, Watford, Burnley, Newcastle, Norwich, all the same. So the bottom half of the table is unchanged. 15 to 20 is unchanged. A little bit of movement in the middle, but the top half is also very static. But that's how the league table looks right now. Of course, there wasn't a lot of movement because this was the weekend of the FA Cup third round, where the big boys, the Premier League, comes into the FA Cup. I love the FA Cup. You guys have heard me say this every week. I love the FA Cup. I think it's a great competition.
Arsenal doesn't love the FA Cup.
What are you talking about? We've won the FA Cup the most.
You just didn't win this week, did you?
No, Arsenal lost. Yeah, that's true. Arsenal got knocked out of the cup. It happens, man.
I mean, that is the beauty of the FA Cup.
It's the cup, man.
I was thinking about the beauty of the FA Cup. You guys remember when Roberto Martinez, what was that? 2012, 13, when he took Swansea to win the FA?
Yeah,
that was wild as hell.
Well, it's kind of like they've been.
They were like a low Premier. They were a low Premier or a high Championship at that time too.
They were in the Premier League at the time, I believe. But think about them now. Swansea's not in the Premier League right now.
No.
Yeah, they're in the Championship. So like, or maybe they might be the Championship actually. I don't know
the Championship.
I don't know where Swansea is. Yeah. I don't know where Swansea is. Okay, are you sure they're in the Championship, not League One?
No, I would say the Championship.
Okay.
I would say there's not much to talk about in the FA.
So
it's basically chalk. Like the 2 games, if we want to touch on anything, is Newcastle Cambridge and Nottingham Arsenal.
Well, we also we can also go on Tottenham and Liverpool having to bring on their big guns to get the job done. Because you guys were losing 1-0 for over like 45, 50 minutes.
I mean,
and then for 40 minutes you guys were down. And then you took off Gil, Ali, and Dumbele last game as a Tottenham fan, as a Tottenham player. Lo Celso to bring on Kane, Royale, Mora, Skip. Like y'all brought on the big guns real quick.
You got to do that,
which is fine. You still won.
It's not real quick. It was in the 70th minute, and then Lo Celso scores. Kane scores.
Didn't Mora score?
I mean, probably.
Yeah, I think he scored.
Yeah,
I think he scored the equalizer.
So Conte did what he was supposed to do. All right, we might lose this game. Let's bring him on.
Yeah, I mean, like to Brad's point, it is mostly chalk. Even the Cambridge United Newcastle result, while Newcastle is a Premier League team and Cambridge, Are they League One? League One, I think.
League One.
Yeah. So like that's there's a big gulf in like league positions if you look at the pyramid between those two teams.
And they're at the bottom of League One. Not quite relegation, but close.
Yeah.
So
like what is there, like probably like 40 league positions or something like that in the hierarchy or something like that. But
24 and then the bottom third. But I mean, maybe we found Newcastle's level.
Plus championship. That's what his point is.
Yeah, Brad doesn't.
Plus the 24. All right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So
my big point is the FA Cup. It's mostly chalk. I don't think there's, unless you want to have a soliloquy about Nottingham beating Arsenal.
We just played.
Maybe
poorly.
you should have. My takeaway was it looked like you guys weren't bothered.
No, not at all.
It looked uninterested.
I don't know if that's necessarily true. I think we didn't pass the ball very well. And so like our link up play was very disjointed. And a lot of the play, Norwich was giving Nketiah a decent amount of space in the middle and putting a little bit more pressure on Martinelli and Saka on the wings. I think obviously for good reason, because Saka and Martinelli are very good and Eddie Nketiah is incredibly lucky. So I think that if I was Arteta, I would have brought Lacazette on earlier, and I would have not replaced. Who did he had Charlie Patino in the squad, who's one of our academy players who's making his way into the first team. So we replaced Lacazette with Patino and had Lacazette play more like deeper in the midfield. I think I would have swapped Lacazette for Nketiah and because I think that front three, Martinelli, Saka, Lacazette, like they've played together in the league, and like they have with Odegaard behind, like they're very good together. Lakanga also did not have a very good game. Like that's how Nottingham Forrest scored their goal, was Lakanga gave the ball away. And like this has been the story of his season right now, is that he keeps giving the ball away that leads to goals. He's spending too much time on the ball. And you kind of expect that from younger players to be making those mistakes. But you would hope that like he made those mistakes against who was it? Like Liverpool, I think.
Chelsea.
Maybe it was Chelsea. So I don't remember exactly, but he's specifically made those same mistakes in the league this year. And so you would not want to see him be doing that again, because he's going to be playing an important role for us in January while Thomas Partey is at AFCON. So like he's going to be seeing a lot more minutes. And so he needs to not do that.
I thought the game actually went chalk. I mean, we've got probably the most storied club in English history.
Oh, do we?
Against just some stupid cannon. So I thought it went chalk.
Oh yeah, like it's the 2-time European Cup winners against Arsenal, and like it's normal because the 2-time European Cup winners beat the no cup winning European Cup winning Arsenal.
Yeah, exactly. That's the most. Yeah. That's one of the most storied English clubs in FA history. So
I mean, Nottingham Forrest is a big club in English football. Do you guys want to know an interesting tidbit? You want to know the last time Arsenal were knocked out in the third round of the FA Cup?
It was to Nottingham Forest.
Yeah, it was away to Nottingham Forest in I think 2018. Yeah. Third round. So same thing. Apparently, we just don't want to draw Nottingham Forest away in the FA Cup. Like we just don't want to do that in the third round. It's bad news bears for us. We did play in that super, super sexy all white kit for the No More Red campaign. Arsenal did this kind of like public campaign to bring awareness to ending knife violence for the youths of London. Apparently, at least 30 teenagers were killed in knife violence in London last year. And so Arsenal teamed up with Idris Elba and a group, I forget what the group's name is, for like the No More Red campaign. And they took all the red off their kits and just wore an all white Arsenal jersey. And it's super... If they were selling one, I would have bought one instantly, but they weren't selling the kits. They're not making them commercially available. They're just going to be, like sending these kits out to people who are making impacts in the community. So I think it's a cool campaign. I'll be interested.
I'm sure one of a kind valuable jerseys aren't going to get robbed and stolen. And in those very classy neighborhoods where people are getting stabbed, I'm sure that's a great idea from Arsenal,
bro. This guy. That's victim blaming.
I mean, what are you guys thinking? You're going to send one-of-a-kind, valuable, can't buy them anywhere jerseys to areas of London where kids are getting stabbed.
Yeah, I mean,
and you think that's a good idea?
It's a little weird. Like, to me, it makes sense. Like, hey, we're selling this kit. Literally every dollar we make off selling this kit is going into,
infrastructure to help these kids. Yes.
It's money. That would make sense to me. But I don't.
Yeah,
it was a cool campaign, and we wore some.
It actually was I don't want to admit, but it was a pretty cool jersey. It looked cool.
It was a dope jersey.
I think it was maybe it might have been Ray Parler was doing some punditry, and he said Arsenal look like Real Madrid, but they're playing like a Sunday pub league team. So I did also pull up the draws for the fourth round of the cup. Nothing stood out to me, so I didn't even write them down. I was getting ready to type them out, and I was like, nothing here is interesting, so I'm not going to bring it up. I actually still have it pulled up. Like,
I don't even know who we drew.
You guys drew Brighton and Hove. Chelsea are playing.
Oh, that sucks.
That's interesting. We're playing some
Plymouth Argyle. Argyle. So, yeah.
Brighton Hove is interesting, but
Brighton are good.
That's probably,
I don't want to play them in the fourth round.
That's probably levels.
Get out of here. All right, what happened in the EFL, Brad?
All right, so let's move on to the Mickey Mouse Cup real quick. The EFL Cup, the Caribou Cup, the League Cup. What do we used to call it?
It's the League Cup. Why are you not?
What is it called now?
Yeah.
Carling Cup.
Carling Cup. Yeah, the Carling Cup. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the Carling Cup. So Spurs and Chelsea.
Wish I had some Carling beer now.
Have finished. Of course. Hey, hit us up. We set our email earlier. But so
I'd rather be drinking your beer.
Spurs and Chelsea have played both their matches. Chelsea went away to White Hart Lane, the new White Hart Lane today, and got a 1-0 victory. So Chelsea advanced 3-0 on aggregate. Brad, let's hear all of your slander, all of your, hit him with it, Brad.
What's slander? It's just levels. Like, it's not fun picking on the little kid.
Ooh.
We did that for 180 minutes. Like, I don't need to talk about it. This could have easily been like 6-0 aggregate.
I hope you enjoy your dinner platter that you get.
It's a cup.
Hey,
it's
we can
a
just
small
add it.
cup.
It's a cup. It's a little bit bigger than the Audi Cup.
Actually, I wouldn't be surprised if the Audi Cup was physically larger, but
yeah.
So interesting tidbit about this. I think I read a stat.
The Carling Cup is a chalice.
True, but it's a chalice that
actually
Tottenham won't be holding this year.
Yeah. Do you know what this means? Thomas Tuchel has been in charge for less than 1 year at Chelsea, and he has led the club to finals of each the League Cup, the FA Cup, and the Champions League / European Cup. He's the first Chelsea manager to do that.
In his first year.
Encongratulations.
No, like ever. He's the first manager to ever do that for Chelsea. Probably because they don't stick around long enough to do that. Because this is our 6th straight year in a final for a major cup.
So I was going to bring this up, Brad. Since 2003, I think Chelsea have reached 35 cup finals. I think that's what I read. 35 cup finals in the last 18 years. That's staggering.
We ain't got no history, though.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have any history.
You don't have any history.
Your club it was formed in 2003. But that's a staggering number, and it's
awesome.
It's the proof that Chelsea ruined world football. That's the only argument I need to make. Look at world football. Look at English football since 2003, and then add in since 2008, and you can see how big money oil oligarchs have ruined football.
And it's become the best league in the world. So I wouldn't say ruined football. I would say improved it.
I mean, to be fair, England would claim that the Premier League was the best league in the world before Roman Abramovich bought the team. But
to be fair, they're probably wrong. But that's okay.
They probably were right. Serie A probably had a claim.
Serie A and the Liga both have a claim.
They go through phases, right? So the leagues go through phases. I think that England has been the most consistent over the last 15 years for sure.
Yeah, Serie A and La Liga are just hitting like financial rough patches right now.
They don't get the money now. La Liga is changing.
Money
that
just
a little
goes
bit.
to 2 clubs.
I honestly, I would, if they could strike a deal with NBC or ESPN or whatever, like
They're on
Strike a deal
ESPN, I think.
where it's not behind a paywall. Put it on ESPN too. I'll watch it.
Well,
I promise.
The thing is, it's not necessarily the individual sponsorship. So like it's like the global package, right? So like clearly we can watch it in America. Like that's not a problem. But like the Premier League can be watched, I think, in literally like every country in the world. Like it's on in China, it's on in Australia, it's on in South America, it's on North America. So like you can get the Premier League everywhere because of the way that they've marketed the league and the way they sell the league. But so like recently, Serie A, the Italian clubs just voted against a huge money injection from, it's the same people who market Formula One. I forget who it is. It's not a well-known name, but it's like an organization. Anyway, so like this company came in and was like, "Hey, we're going to give you multiple $1 billion to let us market the league and sell the league rights, but you have to give us like some X percentage of the TV revenue for so many years." And the Italian clubs were like, "No, we don't want to do that. We want to handle it ourselves." The Spanish clubs just voted in favor of that deal, even though Real Madrid, Barcelona, and I think Athletic Bilbao voted against it and are taking La Liga to court over it. So we'll see how that shakes out. But if that stands in Spain, that would lead to them getting a lot of money.
I get Madrid and Barcelona. Why would Bilbao say that?
Because
Bilbao is only Bilbao.
Yeah,
Like they're a super regional club. They only go from their academy. They very rarely buy players outside of their academy.
And I think it's also you're agreeing to give up TV revenue for like the next 50 years or something, like a percentage of TV revenue. It's a lot of money. It's a lot more money than they would have gotten.
What I would like to do is sit down with a piece of paper with Athletic Bilbao. Be like, okay, if you currently get $100 million from TV rights, okay? And then now, because of these new TV revenues that this promoting company, get you, is $200,000, and they would like 10% of your TV revenue. You now make $180 million a year.
Yes,
and you still make more than you used to.
But the argument is, in 10 years, what Bilbao, Madrid, and Barcelona are betting on is that in 10 years, it will be even more profitable, and even more profitable, and even more profitable. And so they'll be increasing the value. And so they will eventually be paying more to this promoting company than what they got in the first place, is the argument that they're making.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't want to get too in the weeds there, even though we're in the marsh.
Syria should have done it. They've got probably the second most intriguing league in the world.
Interesting. I would like to dig into that later. Not right now, but I would like to dig into your ranking of the leagues.
Oh, yeah. No, it's probably Premier League, Serie A, Bundesliga, La Liga, French Liga 1. Liga.
Interesting. Well, that's a conversation we should have.
I think so.
I
disagree.
We promised the people transfers. And let's talk about transfers. So the way we're going to do this, we're going to talk about all three of our teams. And then inevitably, because this podcast is incapable of talking about anything other than this, we're going to talk about Newcastle. Because for some reason, we love Newcastle. We love talking about I think it's because
just want them to be good, man.
It's an interesting situation, right? It's the new money on the block. We all want to spend their money for them. So
yeah,
we're gonna talk. I'm gonna talk about Arsenal. Brad's gonna talk about Chelsea. Sean's gonna talk about Tottenham, and then we're all gonna spend Newcastle's new money. And then Joel's gonna yell at us in the comments and tell us why we're all stupid. But who wants to start? Do you want Chelsea first? Tottenham first?
I mean, we can do Chelsea first.
All right, let's hear it, Brad. What do you think Chelsea needs to do over the course of the next 2 weeks to have a successful January transfer window?
Nothing.
Pay Leon a maximum 10 mil to get our boy Emerson back, and find a short-term solution for right back. That's it.
So you want to recall Emerson?
Yes.
And then get a right back?
Yes. Just cover. He doesn't even have to be. He has to be good enough to play in some games, not all the games, so we don't run Aspie into the ground.
So you're thinking like a loan, a 6 month loan.
Clearly, I want both. Yes, I want Emerson back because I don't want to spend more money on a left back when we have Chilwell coming back next year. I don't want to spend money on a right back when I have Reece James as the future and Aspie, who who is the cover, right? Like as Reece James is the now and the future.
What did Reece James do? How is he injured?
I think it's hamstring or knee.
Hamstring.
I think it's MCL.
Okay.
I'll say it's MCL.
So if it's MCL,
it wasn't bad though. He'll be back by the end of the season.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it's a hamstring. It's like a grade 2 hamstring, I think.
The Chilwell injury is bad.
He's done.
It's a knee thing. Like that's like 9-month type deal, right?
Yeah, he'll be back for possibly the beginning of next year.
So let me throw this out to you.
He will be back the next year, I think.
Hector Bellerin blew up his knee. He was arguably one of the best right backs in the Premier League. He was making a shout for being one of the best right backs in the world when he blew up his knee. When he came back, he was never the same.
Hasn't been the same.
He's never been the same. His speed was entirely destroyed. And like that was one of the things that was the best part of his game. And I love Hector Bellerin. Was one of my favorite Arsenal players. And he's genuinely a very, very good human being. But I think if
Chelsea was his age,
when
it happened.
What was his age? He's super young. I think Bellerin's like 26 or 27 right now.
What I would say about Chilwell is Bellerin's speed stuck out, but I don't think Chilwell's primary mode of transportation is his speed.
You're not saying that's as important to his game as it was to Bellerin.
I think it's positioning, being in the right spot, the right time, having good spatial awareness. I think that's Chilwell's. That's his not his claim to fame, but like that's his hallmark of like just being where he's supposed to be, and you don't have to be fast to do that.
Yeah,
he just looks
adequately quick, but
he just looks super fast because the other one playing that position is Alonso. I don't know if you've ever seen Alonso go lumbering backwards. It's not a pretty sight.
Yeah, but I guess my only point is that you never know how he's going to react to that coming back from a big injury like that. So like.
The old slander United time comes in. Like Wan-Bissaka, fast as hell.
He's terrible. He's so bad.
He's terrible at right back. Terrible. But he's fast, so he gets back to cover his mistakes.
Oh, man. He's so bad.
But that's not Chilwell. Chilwell doesn't make those mistakes. He's in the right spot, the right time. That's what makes him a good left back.
Okay. So Brad just wants some cover, essentially. What it sounds like.
I just need...
Sean, you were mentioning a center back. What do you think Spurs need?
I want Tomori from AC Milan.
That's not happening.
He's not available.
I don't know if you know that's not happening.
He's coming.
He's
probably not coming, but that's who I want. I want
Rudy's
Tomori.
not coming either.
I want Tomori.
I want Tomori.
Well, you had Tomori and then you sold him, so that's your fault. You loaned, and then he got loaned out to
Madrid.
Hull.
Not Madrid. To
AC Milan.
He got loaned to Milan.
Buy option.
And was it an option or an obligation?
Option.
So why did Chelsea?
If they didn't, if they didn't make Champions League, AC Milan didn't have enough money to buy him.
So Tomori's still under the blue banner?
No, he is an AC Milan player, but he's not coming to Tottenham.
Do you know if there's a right of first refusal for Spurs? For Tottenham? For Chelsea?
For Chelsea?
That
would be awesome if there was. I don't think there is in this one. I think we did that this time around with like Tammy and a few others.
Well, do you guys is Tammy alone?
Tammy
or was he a sale?
Tammy was a sale with a buyback clause. Livermento, we have a buyback clause and or first right of refusal.
Yeah.
So we did that this year. I don't think we did that with Tomori. I think because of how the loan was structured, like the loan with option to buy was structured.
So Sean, you're saying you want a center back.
Tomori. Okay. Yeah, Tomori would be perfect. If we could run a back line with Sanchez, Tomori, Dyer, that is what we need.
Okay.
What about Romero? You're just skipping over Romero?
Oh, well, Romero in the middle, even better.
Okay.
But I don't think you're getting Tomori, so you should probably move on.
So you want a center back.
We need a center back. We need a right wing. And I said this in our group text, and I thought it may surprise you guys of who are we replacing was the question posed to me. Yeah. And I said, this is, I think, going to surprise you guys. Nobody. We need to replace nobody. We need to add players.
Yeah.
If we're going to compete at this level, we need depth.
Yeah.
Even Arsenal are roughly on the same financial.
Oh, yeah.
We're right around the same financial playing field as each other. Even you guys have more players. Like, you're deeper than we are. Like, we need to have more players.
Well, I mean, Arsenal are not saddled by $1 billion of debt right now. So like it's easier for Arsenal to splash out 150 million in the summer and still be compliant with financial fair play rules and not like go even more into the red and things like that. Whereas Spurs, if you're looking at a $1.1 billion, like, and I understand it's all in the stadium and like it's good debt with air quotes there if you're on the podcast, like, so it's not bad debt essentially is how they look at it, but it's still a lot of money that they owe to the banks and stuff like that.
Yeah, and we're a global club. Like we've had this argument. Like Tottenham is a global brand, so like we're good on the money. Eventually, it just doesn't come like it's not like United. It doesn't come all at once. When you buy Pogba and the day after in his kit sales, you basically pay for Pogba. Like we're not that, but like we're huge. We're huge in Asia. We're huge in United States. So like the money's going to come. I'm not worried about the stadium, but we need to keep Conte. So we need to tell him we're serious. So we need to go out there and get it to Tomori or someone like that.
Conte is your biggest asset at the moment right now. Maybe like Harry Kane and Antonio Conte.
Paratici is a big one too.
Yeah, I mean, you can make an argument for Paratici, but like I think football directors are a dime a dozen. Like you can get somebody to be a football director, and like some are better than others. I will readily admit that. I fully admit, but like. You can find people to be a football manager. And I think Antonio Conte is, because he's Italian, he's used to the football director and first team coach situation. But like Antonio Conte clearly has opinions on players. So like, I think he'd be willing to like get a little bit deeper in the transfer business if you wanted to.
I mean, opinions on players. Hello, Diego Costa. Hey buddy, how's your summer going? I don't need you anymore. Get out.
Yeah. So, okay. So what was that? So Sean, what was that? You said center back, a right back.
No, we need a center back, right wing, and a striker. I know we just recalled our 6'6" Peter Crouch.
the child Peter Crouch.
Child Peter Crouch with twists. I'm excited. I hope he gets some playing time. I want to see him.
Maybe he'll feature for you guys in the League Cup. Not the League Cup.
Not in the League Cup semifinal.
What about wait. Maybe the Conference League? You could play him in the Conference League, right? Like it's
yeah, that'd be a great place to play.
wait. Maybe he'll get in the 5th round of the FA Cup.
He'd have to win the 4th round first to get to the 5th round, Brad, because 4 comes after 3, not 5.
Yeah, but hey. At least they have a shot to get there.
It's true. It was humorous. Apparently, like some Spurs. I'm moving on. I don't care about that. Is that all? Is that all you think you need? Those.
Yep.
Okay.
3.
But aren't you getting rid of Ndombele? Isn't that? That's like Conte's done with him.
I think he's only done because I think that's just Conte just done with him. I don't think that's
what I'm saying.
I don't think that's a like clearing money so that we can spend. I think that's. This guy's unteachable. We don't want him. I think that's one of those situations.
Which is dangerous because you guys spent a lot of money on him. And like, how are you going to recoup that money? Like,
we're not because nobody wants him.
Yeah, you're going to lose money.
I heard he's on the same wages as Harry Kane.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's true or not. Roughly, he's on the same wages as Harry Kane.
I'm pretty sure he's around 200. Yeah.
How much does Harry Kane hate his brother right now?
His brother?
Like real talk. His brother's his agent.
I don't know. Why do you
some
say
kid
that?
named Ndombele is some scrub that can't get on the team. Is paid as much as him.
Let's not throw the word scrub around. Ndombele is not a bad player. He just doesn't want to be at Spurs. And it looks like
he reminds me of a sucky Balotelli.
Hey, neither does Harry Kane. So neither one of them want to be there.
Wow,
he's a bad Mario Balotelli.
The comparison is fair. You
guys are in rare form tonight. Arsenal. Who does Arsenal need? Arsenal need a goal scorer. We desperately need a center forward. Because with the situation with Aubameyang, he's probably never going to play for Arsenal again, is what it seems like. He's either going to get a move this January or he will leave in the summer. Lacazette is out of contract in the summer. And for all intents and purposes, it doesn't look like he's going to sign a new contract. He doesn't want a short-term deal. He wants like a 3-year deal. And Arsenal are apparently only offering a 1-year deal. So that looks like that's out the window. That would leave us with 2 recognized center forwards on our books, Eddie Nketiah and Florian Balogun. We desperately need a center forward. We might need 2 center forwards in the long run.
Did you guys just loan out one of your forwards?
Balogun we sent to Middlesbrough on loan.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Are you shipping out Lacazette and Aubameyang?
Well, Lacazette's out of contract in the summer, and then Aubameyang's been ostracized for all the reasons that Aubameyang's been ostracized for. But it seems like Arsenal are moving on. So like we're in for this Serbian dude, the guy from Fiorentina. I don't know.
The guy we want, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, so it's a V name. I'm gonna butcher it, so I'm not even gonna try and say it.
I think we're in for the same guy.
He's got a ton of goals.
Vlahovic. It's like Vlahovic.
Yeah, it's Vlahovic or something like that. But
VHOLOVICH. Something like that, Vlahovic.
So I'm trying to pull it up real quick. I'm trying to do it in the background. Vlahovic. But so like that's going to be a really expensive deal. There's word that there's conflicting reports every day. Fabrizio says it's not going to get done. Chris Wheatley says it's going to get done. Like there's just all types of difference. Fabrizio's been historically not been great for Arsenal transfer news. So like I know that a lot of people are like Fabrizio's the gold standard right now for transfer rumors, but he has traditionally not been super good with Arsenal transfers. But we desperately need a center forward. It kind of looks like we need a central midfielder, but that's due more towards like injuries and COVID and things like that. So that's like a short term. We need like a 6 month loan. And then honestly, it kind of seems like in terms of sales, I don't think we're going to sell anybody, but we could stand to sell Bernd Leno. Like if we could make some money on Bernd Leno, just because he's not like Aaron Ramsdale has supplanted him and cemented his claim as the Arsenal number 1. And Bernd Leno is not going to be a backup at Arsenal. Like that's not in his personality. That's not in his makeup. He needs to be playing first team football, especially with Manuel Neuer's age getting up there. It's going to be for like the Germany number 1 spot. It's going to be between Ter Stegen and Bernd Leno, and Leno's not going to be okay being a number 2. So he wants out is what it seems like. And so if he wants out, I think we let him go and we just rock with Ramsdale and a younger guy. And we see what happens. But honestly, the only thing that I'm really thinking that we desperately need is a center forward. We could probably limp through the end of the season on Lacazette, but if Lacazette gets injured, like it would look real long in the tooth. Aubameyang would have to get drafted back. But yeah, that's all I think Arsenal need. You guys want to do that team up in
Let's do this.
Northeastern England? You want to talk about
Let's do this.
Okay,
we got a little bit of time left.
So let's spend Newcastle.
Well, they just got Digne stolen from them.
Yeah,
which was surprising because I don't know if I mentioned it last week or if I mentioned it in our group chat. Digne said he wanted to leave Everton for a Champions League squad. So the first rumor that got floated around was Newcastle.
Yep.
And I was like, well, that's going the other direction, brother.
Maybe
and then he signs with Villa, which are one league table position ahead of Everton.
Yeah, he must.
So at least he's going in the right direction. But if that's what you wanted, what are you doing?
I think he wanted to wear blue. I think that's what that comment was about. Like he thought, "Oh, I'm perfect for what Chelsea need right now, and they will spend the money for me." Is really what I think he was saying there.
I love how Brad brings everything back to Chelsea.
I do. It's what I do. We know this.
Would you have taken Digne?
No. On a loan, yes. Not as a permanent purchase.
Okay.
Yeah. So like they just signed Chris Wood from Burnley. So they signed a center forward. I'm going to throw out there two players who I think could help Newcastle avoid relegation. Both of them should be inexpensive. The first, it's a free transfer. All right, he's a center midfielder. He's a creative center midfielder. His name is Jack Wilshere.
I knew it. I knew it.
Jack Wilshere is currently a free agent, available to sign with anybody. I think he's been keeping his training up at Arsenal. I think Jack Wilshere, for 6 months, could do a job and help Newcastle stay up. I definitely think he could help them.
These are exactly the signings I was talking about.
All right. The next player who I think that could help Newcastle stay up is another central midfielder. He's Welsh. He currently plays in Italy, though very infrequently. His name is Aaron Ramsey for Juventus. And the interesting thing about Aaron Ramsey is the manager at Juve, Max Allegri, just said Aaron Ramsey's leaving. So clearly he's available. Clearly Juve don't want him, so it's not going to take a lot to get the job done. Juve didn't pay anything for Aaron Ramsey. They got him on a free from Arsenal. He's on incredibly high wages at Juve. But you look at Aaron Ramsey and you say, look, all right, Juve, we're going to give you $5 million for Aaron Ramsey. Aaron Ramsey comes over and you say, Aaron Ramsey, look, we'll pay you what you were making at Juve for 6 months. And then we'll give you a player option at the end of 6 months if you want to stay with us for another year. If we get relegated, you can leave, whatever, that's fine. But if we stay up, it's a player option. You can sign on for another year or something like that. And these are the way that I think that Newcastle should be going after big name players that can help them. Anthony Martial, things like that. Players like this that say, hey, we're going to sign you. We want to buy you. We'll put you on a 6-month deal with a player option for 2 more years after that or something like that. And that's the way you build something. You give the players the ability. It's a short-term contract that they can get out of if they want to. And then they're a free agent. It's not good business per se from Newcastle's standpoint, but their business is to stay up in the Premier League. They're going to do their most work in the summer transfer window. So they need the January window to get players in that are going to drastically change their squad, that are going to drastically improve them and make them better. The two players that I just highlighted, Jack Wilshere and Aaron Ramsey, I believe in my gut are better midfielders than the midfielders that they have right now. And they are going to be better served at keeping Newcastle in the Premier League.
Probably.
What I said a couple weeks ago, you have to get a goalkeeper.
I like the Henderson. I got one more to add, and I think they go back to the Burnley well one more time.
Dean Henderson.
Oh yeah.
He was thinking Jordan Henderson. Yes,
he
was.
Who are you thinking? Dean Henderson, trying to pry him out of there for a 6-month loan.
Yeah.
While De Gea fills out his United legacy.
He wants to play
whatever that is.
I think you go to the Burnley well again, and Tarkowski, who's out of contract in 6 months. So again, shouldn't be very expensive because he's not signing back with Burnley. Yeah. But you can sign him for a longer term deal because he's not an amazing defender. Is he above championship? Probably, but not much. So he's fine with going down to the championship for a year to come back up.
But shit, even just giving these players the ability to get out. I think if you're looking at these players, that's a no-brainer to me. It's a no-brainer to me.
Yeah, it's like there's a clause. Oh gosh, I heard it described. Yeah, it's a buyout clause if they go down. So then the club just comes up with 10, 15 mil, 20 mil and says, here, we'll take them.
This might be a summer transfer, but how hard do you think it would be to get Meslier out of Leeds for Newcastle? That's not a January transfer.
I think it would be expensive.
I think it'd be very, very expensive.
Meslier is good.
Meslier is a good goalkeeper.
Meslier?
I think it's pronounced Meslier. But
okay, Meslier is a good keeper.
Yeah,
I like him a lot.
He'd be really good for Newcastle, I think.
But why would you leave Leeds for Newcastle?
Money.
Now.
Money.
I
mean, like whose trajectory? So if you look at Leeds and you look at Newcastle, and look at all of the external factors that are surrounding these clubs, which team do you think in 10 years will be in a better position in the league, in the English pyramid? You're waffling.
Probably Newcastle. I am waffling but Leeds is a giant of a club.
I don't disagree with you.
Not saying Newcastle isn't or
But,
wasn't,
like,
because I know Joel's gonna say that they were, and they were.
Newcastle's a
but-
big club in England. Like Leeds is a big
Yeah.
club in England. Like I'm not arguing that either. I'm not going to make a claim as to which one is a bigger club.
They're probably roughly equal. Like
And
they
if-
both have
and-
history.
I'm not
They
gonna
both have
make-
money. They both have huge fan bases. They
Well,
both
And if
have.
Leeds was
They got
healthy, I don't think
Ellen
this is a
Road,
conversation.
St. James's Park. Like
Yeah.
they both have everything.
But the thing,
If-
you know what Leeds doesn't have? An owner that could buy every single club in England. Like
Healthy
Yeah.
players,
like the,
either.
But you're talking about like short-term things. I'm talking about over the course of 10 years. In 10
Sure.
years, Newcastle United is going to be like Manchester City, in my opinion. I think it's not going to take them. I think in 10 years, I think we will see Newcastle to be the type of team that Manchester City is today. I honestly think that's true.
If you have smart recruitment, because I mean, I don't know if you've
Yeah,
known this, but
course.
Everton has spent £555 million in the past 5 years. They've
Yeah.
spent like £200 million a year for 4 straight years.
I get that.
Sorry, like 150 mil. And where's Everton?
Yeah, it's going to be. They're going to have to get it right, and Manchester City clearly did get it right. But like,
Yes.
I believe that like as long as they're doing things intelligently, in 10 years they could be a force in world football.
Sure.
And they'll have more history than Manchester. Well, maybe not. Maybe Man City over the course of 10 years will build more history. But like, cat. Go away. Hell, everyone say hi to my cat. But yeah, I don't know. Like, I think. You gonna jump up here? Please don't rip my jersey. Last time you jumped on me in the middle of a podcast, you ripped a jersey. Yeah, so I don't know. I think that's who I want to see. I want them to sign Jack Wilshere and Aaron Ramsey. I think those are two no-brainers in my opinion. Dude, shut up.
I think Aaron Ramsey is much more likely than Wilshere. I don't think Newcastle's going to take a flyer on Jack Wilshere. Not that Jack Wilshere is terrible or could be terrible, but he's outside of football. He's trading. Like I would much rather have Ramsey out of the two. I guess we'll see how much more money is. What they have, another 100 mil they can spend and still be good. 150, something like that.
Didn't they spend like 25 on Trippier? Or was it more than that?
They spent 15 on Trippier and they spent 25 on Wood.
Can't they spend like 200 mil a year? Something like that?
I think they can spend like it's 100 or 150 mil that they can spend in this window.
Yeah, so like they clearly have money they can spend. Like
Yeah.
Aaron Ramsey's not going to be that expensive.
No, I'm not. I wasn't saying
Juve
that.
just want him off the books. Jack Wilshere wouldn't be
Yes.
that expensive.
Trippier went to Villa.
No, he didn't.
Digny and Coutinho went to Villa.
No, Trippier. I'm sorry. I was thinking of Dignity.
He probably should have gone to Villa if he wants a shot at playing for England at the World Cup. But
Yeah. So
it's an interesting choice to go from Atleti to Newcastle. Like those wages have got to be good. Or he has family up there. I think he has also his family up in that area.
It's back in England. Like maybe he's been missing England, but who knows? Yeah, I think we just spent Newcastle's money for them. So definitely do those things that we told you.
Do them all.
I'm going to quickly run down Match Week 22 before we get out of here. So on Friday, Match Week 22 kicks off. We've got Brighton hosting Palace. On Saturday, we got City hosting Chelsea. We got Burnley and Leicester, Newcastle, Watford, which is going to be a massive game. Norwich, Everton, Wolves, Southampton, Villa, United, round 2. Liverpool, Brentford, and then on Sunday, and then we got West Ham hosting Leeds, and then rounding out Match Week 22 is the North London Derby. There are some banger matches in Match Week 22. City, Chelsea, Newcastle, Watford, Spurs, Arsenal. Like that's going to be a weekend, boys.
I think Brighton Hove Palace should be up in that list too.
I mean, maybe, but there's less.
I think it's levels,
Yeah.
but there's less at stake because they're
less-
mid-table.
yeah,
but
less stakes there.
levels.
I mean, if you think about like the Newcastle Watford game, like, oh man, that one's spicy. That one is tasty.
That's a heck of a 6-pointer there if either team can score.
Just for Sean. But so City Chelsea, how do you feel? How do you feel about this match, Brad? This is a must-win game for you guys, yeah?
I think so. If we don't win, then the league is bye. If we win, there's a chance,
Slim chance,
not a great chance, but there's still a chance for the league. And I would love to win 6 trophies.
So do you think you're going to beat them?
Yes.
You think
But I'm always going to say yes.
You think you're going to beat them away? Okay, interesting. Sean,
it's the empty ad. I'm not worried about City's home field advantage.
All right, fine.
I feel like this is Anfield. We walked into Anfield and drew. Like, I'm not scared of the empty ad. Come on now.
All right, bro. We'll talk.
I want to hear y'all's. Let's get on
week.
y'all's opinions about the Spurs Arsenal real quick.
Yeah,
who wins?
I'm interested in how Sean feels about this.
It's easy win.
Dang.
This is a different tune than he was spitting last week in our text messages. You said draw. You said draw last week when we were talking about it in text.
It's probably a draw.
Okay, so why do you think it's an easy win, bro?
Look, Arsenal coming in a little cocky. Yeah, I'm not losing Arsenal.
Bro, that's your only point is Arsenal are cocky. Okay, great.
Yeah, coming in, Martinelli with his stupid little fucking high fade.
Yo, boy's looking like prime Ronaldo. I'm just saying, not CR7. I'm talking about Ronaldo, R9 Ronaldo.
Oh, he's got the little front patch.
Not yet, but different, younger R9. But
oh, not fat R9.
Yeah, exactly, not fat R9. I would be more confident about this game if Thomas Partey was in England and not in Africa. I think that's going to be a huge miss for us.
I just don't like from the Arsenal games I've watched. I don't see why he's so integral to your team. He doesn't help you that much.
It's what he brings a calm to the midfield.
I don't think so.
He's their Jorginho. Like he's the metronome for everything.
From what I've seen, I just don't see calm.
When Partey's on, he's their Jorginho. He's not their Conte that James thought he was going to be, but he's like their Jorginho. He balances out everything, moves the ball, progresses the ball.
I would say compare Arsenal when Partey is playing to when Lukonga's playing, and it's night and day.
But they play together mostly, though, right?
They had been, but like once Xhaka got uninjured, when he got back from his injury, that's it. Like the ideal pairing for Arsenal right now in the midfield is Partey, Xhaka, Odegaard, generally.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I think I'm feeling good about it. I'm not worried about Spurs. I think if we put on the performance that we played against City, we handily win this game.
Easy.
But if we play like we played against Nottingham Forrest, we'll get slapped off the park. So, but it's the North London derby. You always get up for it. So it's a toss up. Either team could win. Either team could lose. So. But I think if we play, it was a stupid comment, Brad. I know.
There's only three. There's only two options. One wins, one loses, or they both draw. Yeah. So I guess either team could do all of those.
I'm talking about like either team could win the game or either team could lose the game for themselves is what I'm saying. So
yeah, and if Spurs continue how they've been playing like these past two games, and I know it's EFL Cup, so that's different. But even before that, there are other two games. I think Arsenal. I think this is destruction. I think Arsenal dominate if Tottenham plays the way they were.
Yeah, so we'll see. It'll be interesting to see how Arsenal play tomorrow against Liverpool in the League Cup, and then we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, that's all we got tonight, boys. We're done. We got no more to talk about. Quickly, you guys saw us throwing up these mugs earlier on. I want to give a big shout out to Melvin. He sent these mugs through just as like a Christmas thing or like a thank you or whatever. But we thank you, Melvin. Thank you for doing that for us. That's TBS Impressions, and their link is always in the comment section in the show notes. If you're looking for any kind of like screen printing, any kind of stuff like that, shirts, hats, whatever, like he's got you. Hit him up. It's in Northern Virginia, but he's good stuff. We really appreciate it, Melvin. Thank you so much, man. But yeah, that's all we got tonight. If you're new here, you stuck through with us with us clowns, we really appreciate it. If you could hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, give us a follow, all those things. We really appreciate it. Give us a rating, leave us a comment, hit us up, join our Discord if you want to play chess. We're playing some chess. Join our Discord if you want to leave us some comments. But as always, That's at KSBradG on Twitter. Down below, that's at Whiteheart_Sean. I'm at James Tiffany on Twitter. We collectively are at RedCard_Radio. Hit us up. We'd love to hear from you. And until next time, we'll see you later and have a good evening. Good night.